Well, it's funny, I wouldn't have thought of you as a Three Stooges. I was thinking more like the Smothers Brothers up there with their initial volley, but that's okay. Well, you know, first of all, it's just a pleasure for Carol and I to be back here to Ferris State University. When we came onto the campus, I said, Carol, we have to drive by Pennock Hall. I just have to see what's going on there, you know. Not a tear shed. But you know, for years, even before I became dean here, I had a little, one of those little motivational things on my desk or on my bookshelf, and it was a quote by Carl Sandburg that says, "Nothing happens unless first we dream." And you know, this is the kind of thing that. But you have to know that when I arrived and I showed up to what looked to me like I was walking into a YMCA with the yellow tile in the entryway there. And when I went to my first faculty meeting and we started talking about buildings and improving the building and all that sort of thing, and Bob Carter said, well, I don't know, but Bill Cederberg said to me, I said, what about a new building? Well, Bill Cederberg said, not in your lifetime. And I was so hoping Bill would be here, but he's not. But I'm going to write him a note. Ask him which lifetime he was talking about. But I realized early on that my job as dean wasn't so much to sort of make it happen as it was to keep it on the front burner. And I used to tell that to the troops, the faculty and the staff in our meetings and things when we'd get discouraged and fed up with the building, with the leaky pipes and the asbestos and all that went on in that building. You cannot believe. It was horrible. And I would say, well, you know, look, our job as a college is to keep optimistic and to keep this thing on the front burner of the university, because without the support of the university and board of trustees, this ain't going to happen. So we got that. We figured that out. And so my job was, like, for example, my first opportunity to write a minor caps proposal. I put together a new building. And I was told, you know, it's usually a $10,000 project for minor caps. And I was told at a little reception, the vice president took me aside, Kevin, we were talking about bookshelves. We weren't talking about a building. I said, oh, well, okay, well, thanks for telling me. And then I realized that, you know, because we had horrible heating and no air conditioning on a day like this, we're holding class in there. I said, you know, maybe when I have meetings with my vice president and the president, I'll have him in a classroom. And so we would do that. And after about the third meeting, Bill Cederberg said to me, I got it, Kevin. Next time we're meeting in my office, but I got it. And speaking of Bill, you know, a big part of what a dean does is develop a relationship with the president so the president understands our problems. And so, of course, I had to play golf with him on occasion. And those of you who have played golf with me know how difficult it was for me to hold my game back and allow him to win. And so we did that, but we had many long discussions on the golf course about the building, about not just the building, but about optometry and the future of optometry and what is Ferris State University, what's our role in the national scheme of things with optometry. So I had many opportunities, and of course at the same time I was serving on the AOA board, so I had a lot of national perspective going on at that time, and it was a great opportunity to link up with Bill. And then we went to the State House together, and he had me speak to various people and various legislators, and we began drafting capital outlay proposals, $23, $25, $27 million. There was draft after draft after draft of those. I got tired of writing them, but we had to always be ready for that moment. And of course it got passed a few times and vetoed a few times. We had lots of frustrations, but we kept at it, we kept optimistic, kept the faith, and ultimately developed our Realize the Vision campaign, which is really the product, which is the thing that caused the building to really take light. We had many, many alumni meetings and all kinds of things, always with Realize the Vision, and of course the web page and all that. And then in 2003, President Eisler came on the scene, and I'm going, great, a new president. What am I going to do now? He's not going to be interested in optometry. I got to start all over, and I don't even know if he plays golf. What am I going to do? He doesn't, but what he doesn't know is I also play the clarinet, but I never offered to give him a lesson. I don't even know if I have all the parts to my clarinet. So, but lo and behold, within about 6 weeks of Dave taking office, he calls me up and he says, Kevin, I want you to organize a road trip. Road trip? I'm always up for a road trip. Where do you want to go? I want you to take me to the 3 best examples of clinics and optometry buildings in this country. And so we did, and we went to the Southern College. I'm sorry, you're also here from ICO. We didn't go to ICO. I'm very sorry. We went to Southern because they had just built a new building, Southern College of Optometry, and we went to, it happens to be where I'm at right now, Southern California College of Optometry, because they were in the process of building a building. And we also wanted to go somewhere to see what a circular clinic looked like, and there happened to be one in Houston. And we made that trip in about 4 days, and we all got through it. Carl was there, we had physical plant people there. It was just a wonderful trip. But in the process, if I may say so, I think Dave he developed an appreciation for optometry. He saw all kinds of things that are going on in optometry, from everywhere from extensive clinical things to monkey research and visual pathways, all kinds of exciting things that I think really got him to see where things fit in a national perspective. And of course, after that, we developed the Dow grant. We were able to receive that, and of course, got the full and enthusiastic support of Representative Bohr and Senator McManus. And then I think what was a really significant thing for me as a dean was when we sat down with the faculty and said, listen guys, I want us to be the first people who pledged to this campaign. And within 24 hours we raised nearly $200,000 in pledges by 19 faculty members. That was awesome. And I was able then to go to the president and say, I got your first 200 grand, boss, and we were really pleased. But again, keep it on the front burner. Any deans or administrators in the audience, you know that at every dean's meeting, every unit action plan, every meeting, every opportunity that Kevin Alexander had, he was talking about a building for optometry, because that was my job and that was my passion, and that's what I wanted to see happen during my time as dean. In fact, just tell you a little story, just how far extreme you can go with this. Miles Poston was in the back there, and he's saying, oh my God, what's he going to say? But he's an attorney, he doesn't have to worry, I'm not going to say anything bad. He had a meeting about HIPAA. Remember this? We were in an auditorium down in Grand Rapids, and there were a few of us sitting in the back row, which is where I like to sit for these lawyer things. He said, come on up front, there's not very many people here, and I shouted out, not till we get a building. So you've got to have passion for it, and always take it to it. But you know what? Happened it did, and there it is. And I have to admit, I had a tear in my eye when I walked through the door, because it's more than I ever envisioned. Shortly after Carol and I arrived in California, we did a little bit of traveling around. We went up to Simi Valley, and in Simi Valley, California, is the Reagan Library. It's an impressive place. And inside the Reagan Library is a mock-up of the Oval Office. And I didn't know this, but on Reagan's desk, he always had a little plaque. And that plaque, which I now have on my desk, says, it can be done. And he posted on his desk where people sitting to talk with him can see it. And if ever this phrase meant anything, just turn around and have a look. It can be done. And with that, I have one of these for the dean. And it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to present one of these to David Eisler, whose tenacity and just bulldog attitude made this happen.